Greetings. Today we have installment 3 of the Mutual Submission Clause, Part 2, from 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 5 through 7. In Genesis 16, we find that Sarah convinces Abraham that they need to help God fulfill his promise to give them a son by using Sarah's handmaid Hagar as an auxiliary wife, or we call it today a surrogate wife, to Abraham. Ishmael is born when Abraham is 86 years old, according to chapter 16 and verse 16. In chapter 17, verse 17, it says, "Then Abraham fell on his face and laughed and said in his heart, Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear?" In verse 21, God said, "But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year." God now set the custom of circumcision into order. Abraham is 99 years old and Ishmael is 13 at the time of the institution of this in Genesis 17, verses 24 through 26. Abraham is now 99 years old, and he will be 100 years old when Isaac is born. See Genesis 21:5. Remember, he was 75 when he left Haran for Canaan, not counting the years from Ur to the leaving from Haran, which are not given in the scriptures. So for at least 25 years, Abraham and Sarah had waited for God to fulfill a promise to them. And yet I could say that God had been waiting for 25 years for them to fulfill his conditions for receiving the promise. See, Genesis 12:1 states the condition. "Now the Lord said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee." I see 4 distinct conditions stated. 1, get out of Ur. 2, leave your extended family behind. 3, separate from your immediate family. And 4, go to an unknown land to inherit. When Abraham and Sarah left Ur, Terah was in charge of the move to Haran. That's Abraham's father, according to Genesis 11:31. And there they remained until Terah's death, Genesis 11:32. The time which was spent in Haran is not stated. Still, Lot was with them when they traveled to Canaan and remained with them until the forced separation recorded in Genesis 13, where Lot chooses to pitch toward the well-watered plain of Sodom. So 3 of the 4 conditions are now satisfied. The 4th concerned the giving of the new land to Abraham and his descendants forever. After their failed plan with Hagar and Ishmael, after it seemed impossible for the aged couple to have their own son as promised, when they could only trust God to do what was laughable to everyone, including themselves, then God fulfilled his promise. Sometimes I contemplate over these facts and wonder if God is waiting on us to fulfill some condition in order that he can deliver on a promise of long standing which he's made to us. Romans 4 and Hebrews 11 are very clear on the fact that Abraham believed God. And yet it seems it took some time for he and his wife to place themselves in full submission to God's plan for their lives. I emphasize this because there's still hope for us. That is hope for you and me, along with our spouses, to get into the place of full submission to God.